What if the only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the way you choose to face today? Think about that for a moment. Every success story you admire, every person who broke through the limits of fear and doubt started exactly where you are now, with nothing but a choice. The choice to either stay the same or to push forward, even when it hurts, even when no one else believes, even when the road feels endless. Deep down, you already know the truth. Success doesn't come to the lucky. It doesn't come to the talented alone. It comes to the ones who are willing to work harder, longer, and smarter than anyone else. It comes to those who refuse to quit when comfort whispers, rest now, it's enough. It comes to those who show up every single day, no matter how heavy the weight feels. And the question staring you in the face is simple. Will you choose comfort or will you choose growth? You see, life has a way of testing you, of asking how badly you really want what you claim to want. It puts obstacles in your path not to stop you, but to reveal your strength to yourself. Most people see those obstacles as signs to turn back, but the few, the rare few, see them as invitations to rise. And rising is exactly what hard work allows you to do. Every time you push through the resistance, every time you give more than you thought you had, you create a new version of yourself. Stronger, sharper, unshakable. But let's be honest, the idea of hard work sounds exhausting, doesn't it? Your mind starts to list excuses before you even begin. It will take too long. It will hurt too much. What if I fail? That's fear speaking. Fear wants to chain you to the version of yourself that is easy to control. Fear wants you to stop believing in your own potential. But here's the truth. The pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. And regret doesn't fade. It lingers. It eats at you. It becomes the voice that keeps you awake at night wondering what could have been. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine the reward of knowing you gave everything you had. Imagine looking back and realizing that every drop of sweat, every sacrifice, every late night, every early morning built something unshakable inside you. That feeling of pride, of strength, of self-respect is worth more than comfort, more than excuses, more than the easy path ever could give you. That's the emotional payoff of hard work. It's not just about achieving goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't flinch in the face of struggle, who can look in the mirror and know without doubt, I earned this. Stay with me, because this journey is about to get even deeper. By the end of this, you won't just see hard work as effort. You'll see it as the key to mastering yourself. And once you master yourself, you master your success. This isn't theory. This is real. And it begins right now with the decision to keep listening, to stay engaged, to let these words ignite a fire in you that no obstacle can ever put out. Because your future is waiting and it's only asking you one thing. Are you willing to work for it? The world will never hand you greatness. It will never open its arms and say, here, this is the life you've always wanted. No, it will test you. It will challenge you. It will demand proof that you are worthy. And the proof is written in your effort. The hours you give when no one is watching, the sacrifices you make when no one will ever applaud them, the discipline you show when no one will ever know. This is the currency of success. Without it, your dreams remain nothing more than wishes floating in your imagination. With it, they begin to take shape, solid, undeniable, unstoppable. But here is the secret few talk about. Hard work doesn't just build results, it builds you. It changes your identity from the inside out. Every time you choose effort over ease, you are rewiring your brain, telling yourself, I am capable, I am resilient, I am stronger than my excuses. Psychology calls this self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to succeed at difficult tasks. And nothing strengthens it more than action. The moment you stop waiting for motivation and start doing the work, you prove to yourself that you don't need permission. You don't need the perfect conditions. You don't need to be ready. You only need to begin. That single decision to act creates momentum. And momentum is a force greater than any burst of motivation. Motivation fades. Momentum carries you forward even when you feel tired, even when you feel uninspired. It's the rhythm of progress, the compounding effect of consistent effort. One step, then another, small victories stacking into big ones. Days of persistence turning into weeks, months, years, until suddenly you look back and realize you have crossed mountains you once thought were impossible to climb. This is the path to mastery, not talent, not luck, not shortcuts. Mastery is born from repetition, from grinding through the same process over and over until what once felt impossible becomes second nature. Think about how powerful that is. The very struggles that once defeated you can become the skills that define you. The walls that once seemed unbreakable can become stepping stones you barely notice on your way to the top. That transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens through the quiet, relentless work you put in when the world isn't watching. And yet, here's the beauty. The struggle itself is the gift. Because inside the struggle, you discover a version of yourself you never knew existed. The part of you that refuses to back down, that refuses to settle, that refuses to be ordinary. Every challenge you face is a mirror showing you not just who you are, but who you can become. And the only way to see that reflection clearly is to step into the fire of hard work. So when you feel the weight of resistance pressing against you, don't turn away, lean in. That resistance is not there to break you, it's there to forge you. Steel is not made in comfort, it's made in fire. Diamonds are not formed in ease, they are created under pressure. And you are no different. You are being shaped by every test, every challenge, every long hour you thought you couldn't endure. Each one is sculpting you into something rare, something powerful, something extraordinary. This is why you cannot quit. Because quitting doesn't just stop the work, it stops the transformation. The version of you who has yet to rise, who is waiting on the other side of persistence, never gets the chance to live. And isn't that what you want most? To meet the strongest version of yourself, to live the life that person is destined to create? That is the reward of hard work. That is the power you hold right now. There will always be a voice in your head that tells you to slow down, to take it easy, to wait for the right moment. That voice sounds comforting, but it is not your friend. It is the voice of limitation, the voice of fear, the voice that wants you to believe that tomorrow is safer than today. And if you keep listening to it, you'll find yourself drifting, years passing, dreams fading, potential left untouched. But if you choose to silence that voice with action, you awaken the part of you that has been waiting to take control. Every human being carries two forces inside them, the pull toward comfort and the pull toward growth. Comfort feels good now, but it steals from your future. Growth feels painful now, but it builds a future you can be proud of. This is the unbreakable law of progress. The pain of effort is temporary, but the pride of overcoming it lasts forever. Every drop of sweat, every moment of discipline, every sacrifice becomes an investment in your future self. And nothing compounds faster than consistent, determined work. When you understand this, hard work is no longer a burden. It becomes a privilege. It becomes the tool that allows you to rewrite your story, to take control of a life that might once have felt out of your hands. This is why people who dedicate themselves fully to their craft carry a presence you can feel. You sense it in their eyes, in their posture, in their energy. They've gone to war with themselves and they've won. And that victory cannot be faked. It is earned in the quiet, unseen hours of dedication. Think about what that means for you. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are building an invisible strength. No one may see it right away. No one may clap for you, but it is there, growing, waiting for its moment to reveal itself. That is why you cannot measure progress only by immediate results. The seed planted underground is invisible long before it breaks the surface, yet it is growing all along. Your hard work is the same. You may not see the full impact today, but the roots are forming, the foundation is solidifying, the strength is building, and this strength changes everything. It changes the way you see yourself. It changes the way you approach challenges. It changes the way you respond when life knocks you down. You stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. You stop seeing obstacles as dead ends and start seeing them as detours toward mastery. That is the power of resilience, and resilience is the direct child of hard work. Without effort, resilience never grows, but with it, you become unshakable. So many people search for shortcuts, but shortcuts rob you of this transformation. They give you the illusion of progress without the strength to sustain it. That's why success without struggle never lasts. Only when you've earned it through sacrifice does success have meaning, because it is not just something you have, it is something you are. And no one can take that away from you. This is why your effort matters today. This is why your choices matter in this very moment, because every second you put into becoming stronger, more disciplined, more focused, you are not just chasing success, you are building a person capable of holding it. And once you become that person, nothing in this world can stop you. Success is not about what you get. It is about who you become in the process of earning it. The house, the car, the recognition, the applause, all of that can be taken away. But the discipline, the resilience, the strength you build through relentless work can never be stripped from you. That is why hard work is the ultimate equalizer. No matter where you start, no matter what you lack, If you are willing to put in the work, you gain something no one can ever steal: character. And character is what carries you when circumstances change, when challenges rise, when the world tests your limits. Every time you step into discomfort and push through, you are carving a new identity. You stop being the person who dreams without action and start becoming the person who acts without hesitation. This shift is powerful because identity drives behavior. When you believe you are disciplined, you act disciplined. When you see yourself as strong, you act strong. The reverse is also true. If you see yourself as weak, your choices will follow. That is why hard work is so much more than effort. It is a daily conversation with yourself, reshaping the way you see who you are and what you are capable of. And here is the truth you need to hold on to. Identity is not fixed. It is not written in stone. It is written in sweat. Every choice you make today is writing the story of who you become tomorrow. Every time you push past resistance, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who does not quit. Every time you follow through on what you said you would do, you prove to yourself that your word has weight, that your promises mean something. And the more you prove it, the more unshakable your identity becomes. Think of the power in that. You no longer have to wait for confidence to arrive. You create it by doing the work. Confidence is not a gift. It is a result. It is born from evidence. And the evidence is built each time you show up, each time you push forward, each time you refuse to surrender. This is why the people who seem fearless are not fearless at all. They simply have stacked so much evidence of their own persistence that fear no longer controls them. They have built a foundation of proof that says, I can handle this. I've done it before and I will do it again. This is available to you right now. Every action you take is a brick laid in the foundation of your new identity. And soon that foundation becomes unshakable. Success is not luck. It is architecture. You are building something with every choice you make, and the structure you are building is yourself. So ask yourself, what story are you writing with your actions today? Are you reinforcing the belief that you are capable, resilient, unstoppable? Or are you reinforcing the lie that you are weak, that you are limited, that your dreams are beyond you? The answer is not written in your intentions. It is written in your effort. Effort is the language of identity. And when you speak it fluently through consistent hard work, the person you become is someone who can achieve anything. Greatness demands a price, and the price is always paid in full before the reward ever arrives. You cannot negotiate with it, you cannot bargain it down, and you cannot skip the line. The world will give you exactly what you have earned. No more, no less. That is why shortcuts feel tempting, but always leave you empty. They give you the appearance of progress without the foundation to sustain it. True success comes only when you have bled for it, sweated for it, sacrificed for it, and proved through your actions that you're prepared to hold it. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack patience with the process. They want the destination without the journey. They want the victory without the struggle. But the struggle is not just part of the process, it is the process. It is the grind that teaches you discipline. It is the sacrifice that shapes your priorities. It is the repetition that forges mastery. You cannot bypass it because without it, you remain the same person, and the same person cannot hold the weight of greater success. You must become more, and the only path to becoming more is through hard work. Every day you rise and face the resistance inside you, you are proving your commitment. Not to the world, not to anyone else, but to yourself. And this is the deepest truth. You are not working only for the outcome. You are working to honor the promise you made to yourself. Nothing creates inner strength like keeping that promise. Nothing builds self-respect like following through on the commitments no one else can see. When you live this way, you carry a quiet power inside you that no failure, no rejection, no setback can erase. And setbacks will come. That is guaranteed. But setbacks are not signs of weakness. They are opportunities to measure your strength. Every obstacle is a question. How much do you really want this? Are you willing to endure? Are you willing to rise again? Those who quit will never know what was waiting on the other side. Those who persist discover that persistence itself is the doorway. The reward is never just at the end. It is hidden inside the resilience you build every time you refuse to give up. Hard work trains your mind to find meaning in struggle. Where others see pain, you see progress. Where others see defeat, you see training. Where others see barriers, you see blueprints. This shift in perspective is everything because life will always test you. You cannot control the storms, but you can control the way you face them. And if you have trained through hard work, if you have chosen discipline over ease, you will stand unshaken when the storms arrive. That is when you realize you are not fragile. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are built from effort, forged in discipline, unbreakable by design. So do not fear the grind. Do not fear the sacrifice. Do not fear the lonely hours when no one else is watching. These are not punishments. They are gifts. They are the proving ground where you transform. And when the reward finally arrives, it will not be the material prize alone. It will be the unshakable knowledge that you became the kind of person who could never be denied. That is the ultimate success, knowing that you mastered yourself first, and because of that, you mastered everything else. Discipline is the purest form of freedom you will ever know. At first, it feels like restriction, like chains you willingly place on yourself. But those chains are not meant to trap you. They are meant to shape you. They hold you to the path when distraction tries to pull you away. They keep you moving forward when your emotions beg you to stop. And over time, those chains of discipline transform into wings. Because once you have mastered the ability to control yourself, you are no longer controlled by anything else. Think about how much energy is lost every day to hesitation, to procrastination, to doubt. Each moment spent negotiating with yourself is a moment of power wasted. But when you choose discipline, the negotiation ends. You do what must be done, not because you feel like it, but because you decided it is who you are. That is real freedom. The freedom from the chaos of indecision, the freedom from the trap of moods, the freedom from the weakness of excuses. And that freedom is earned only through hard work. Your brain is wired for efficiency. It will always try to save energy, to take the path of least resistance, to avoid discomfort. This is survival at its most basic level. You are not here to survive. You are here to thrive. To thrive, you must rewire your mind to see struggle not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Every time you push through resistance, you are teaching your brain a new truth. Discomfort is not danger, it is growth. Science calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change itself based on repeated action. And hard work is the ultimate rewiring tool. It teaches your mind to associate effort with progress, pain with transformation, discipline with freedom. Once this shift happens, everything changes. What once felt impossible begins to feel natural. Waking up early, staying focused, giving your best effort. These stop being battles and start being habits. And habits are the foundation of destiny. The small actions repeated daily are what separate the dreamers from the achievers, the almost from the unstoppable. Your habits will either chain you to mediocrity or elevate you to greatness. And every habit is built one choice at a time. This is why consistency is more powerful than intensity. A single burst of effort can make you feel good in the moment, but it is the relentless, steady grind that rewires your identity. Every day you show up, no matter how small the step, you strengthen the belief that you are someone who follows through. That belief is priceless. It creates unshakable self-trust. And when you trust yourself, there is no limit to what you can endure, no limit to what you can create, no limit to how far you can go. Hard work is not glamorous. It is not loud. It will not always bring instant results. But it is the most honest path you will ever walk. Because the effort you put in never lies. You cannot fake the hours. You cannot fake the sacrifices. You cannot fake the discipline. The results may take time to appear, but the truth of who you are is written in your work every single day. And the more you embrace that truth, the stronger you become. Strength of body, strength of mind, strength of spirit, strength that cannot be shaken by failure, rejection, or doubt. Strength that whispers when life gets hard, keep going. You are built for this. That is the voice of mastery. That is the voice of freedom. And that voice only grows louder the harder you work. The path of hard work is not meant to be easy. If it were, everyone would walk it and success would hold no value. What gives success its weight, its beauty, its meaning, is the struggle it requires. Struggle is not there to punish you. It is there to refine you. It strips away the illusions, it exposes your weaknesses, and it forces you to face the truth about yourself. That confrontation is uncomfortable, but it is also where transformation begins. Because only when you see yourself clearly can you rise above the limitations you once accepted as permanent. Most people run from struggle. They avoid it, distract themselves from it, or pretend it doesn't exist. But those who embrace it discover something powerful. Struggle is the classroom of greatness. It teaches lessons that no book, no lecture, no advice could ever provide. It teaches you patience when results are slow. It teaches you perseverance when the road is long. It teaches you humility when failure humbles you. And above all, it teaches you that your limits are not fixed. They are flexible, waiting to be stretched by effort and expanded by discipline. The human spirit is wired to grow through challenge. Think about it. Muscles only grow when pushed beyond their comfort zone. Minds only sharpen when forced to solve difficult problems. Hearts only strengthen when tested by pain. Every part of you is designed to rise through resistance. Yet if you never push, you never grow. If you never test yourself, you never know how powerful you truly are. Hard work is the invitation to this discovery, the doorway to your hidden strength. But only those who are willing to step through it will ever see what lies inside them. And what lies inside you is greater than you realize. There is a deeper well of endurance, focus, and resilience waiting to be unlocked. The world will not reveal it to you. Comfort will never reveal it to you. Only effort, only struggle, only relentless persistence will show you who you really are. That is why the pain of hard work is sacred. It is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. Every moment you feel the weight, every moment you fight the urge to stop, every moment you rise again is proof that you are stepping closer to your true self. When you understand this, your relationship with struggle changes forever. You no longer see it as an enemy, but as a partner that challenges you, sharpens you, and demands your best. And the more you accept this partnership, the less fear controls you. Fear thrives in avoidance, but it dies in action. Each step you take into discomfort weakens fear's grip until it no longer dictates your choices. What replaces it is courage. The courage to keep moving, to keep fighting, to keep building when others give up. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to keep going in spite of it. And courage is born in the furnace of hard work. Every drop of sweat, every sacrifice, every late night and early morning is building that courage inside you. This is why the people who dedicate themselves to relentless effort carry an unshakable presence. They are not fearless, they are courageous. And courage, once built, carries into every area of life. It makes you unstoppable, not just in your goals, but in the way you live, the way you lead, and the way you rise no matter what stands in your way. Courage built through hard work gives you something far greater than achievement. It gives you certainty. Certainty that no matter what comes, you can handle it. Certainty that when the world tests you, you will not collapse. Certainty that when everything feels like it is falling apart, you will still rise. This kind of certainty cannot be bought, borrowed, or inherited. It can only be earned. And once you earn it, you carry it with you everywhere, like armor that cannot be pierced. That armor is not made of arrogance. It is made of evidence. Evidence that you have endured. Evidence that you have stayed true. Evidence that you have faced resistance and continued forward anyway. With every repetition of discipline, you stack more proof that you are capable. And with every stack, doubt has less room to live. Fear may still whisper, but its voice grows weaker because your actions have spoken louder. You no longer hope you are strong. You know you are strong. Knowing changes everything. It transforms the way you carry yourself, the way you approach challenges, the way you see opportunities. Where others hesitate, you act. Where others crumble, you endure. Where others quit, you rise. And this is not because you are special. It is because you have paid the price. You have put in the hours. You have made the sacrifices. You have proven to yourself over and over again that you are willing to do the work. That proof creates a foundation of confidence that no storm can wash away. But confidence is not the only reward. Hard work also gives you clarity. Clarity about what matters. Clarity about what is worth your energy and what is not. When you dedicate yourself to relentless effort, distractions lose their power. Empty pursuits, shallow pleasures, meaningless noise, all of it fades because you are too focused on building something real. You begin to see through the illusions that trap others because your work has taught you what is valuable. And what is valuable is progress, growth, becoming. This clarity becomes a compass. It guides your decisions, shapes your priorities, and keeps you aligned with your purpose. And purpose is the most powerful fuel a human being can have. When you know why you are working, when you know why you are sacrificing, when you know why the struggle is worth it, Nothing can stop you. Purpose turns exhaustion into fuel. It turns failure into feedback. It turns obstacles into stepping stones. Without purpose, hard work feels heavy. With purpose, hard work feels sacred. And your purpose does not have to be grand in the eyes of the world. It only has to be real to you. Maybe it is to provide for the people you love. Maybe it is to break free from the limits you once accepted. Maybe it is to prove to yourself that you are not defined by your past. Whatever it is, anchor it deep in your heart. Because when your work is connected to your purpose, no setback can break you. No struggle can stop you. No difficulty can erase your drive. This is the true power of mastering yourself through hard work. You gain not only strength and courage, but also certainty and clarity. You become a force that cannot be swayed by fear, by doubt, by the fleeting opinions of others. You become anchored, unshakable, guided by something deeper than comfort, deeper than ease. And once you stand on that foundation, you are no longer chasing success. You are creating it with every step you take. When you live with clarity and purpose, you stop measuring yourself against the world and start measuring yourself against who you were yesterday. Comparison fades because you understand that your only competition is the weaker version of yourself that still lingers within. Every day becomes an opportunity to step further away from that version, to rise higher, to grow stronger, to refine your character. This is mastery, not perfection, not flawless victories, but the relentless pursuit of becoming better than you were the day before. The beauty of this pursuit is that progress compounds. What begins as small, almost invisible steps builds into undeniable transformation. A single act of discipline creates momentum, momentum creates consistency, and consistency creates results. But the results are not just external, they are internal. The more you work, the more you realize success is not something you chase, it is something you attract by the person you become. When you embody strength, resilience, and discipline, success finds its way to you because you are aligned with the very principles that create it. This alignment gives you power that cannot be faked. People can sense it. They can feel the weight of your effort, the depth of your commitment, the presence of someone who has earned their confidence through struggle. It radiates from you, not because you are trying to prove yourself, but because you no longer need to. You carry certainty in your being. You carry clarity in your actions. You carry the silent authority of someone who has put in the work. But this is not just about how the world sees you. It is about how you see yourself. When you live this way, you stop questioning your worth. You stop doubting your potential. You stop wondering if you are capable. You know, and that knowing changes everything. It changes the way you move, the way you speak, the way you face challenges. It gives you a steady strength that does not crumble when life becomes difficult. You rise not because it is easy, but because rising has become your nature. This is the essence of self-mastery. It is not about controlling the world. It is about controlling yourself, your mind, your habits, your emotions, your focus. And once you have mastered yourself, the world cannot shake you because the greatest battle is already won. External victories become inevitable when the internal victory is complete. Success, wealth, influence, recognition, these are byproducts of the deeper work. The real prize is the person you have forged through the process. And here lies the ultimate truth. Everything you desire is waiting on the other side of effort. Not luck, not chance, not shortcuts, effort. The hours you dedicate, the sacrifices you make, the discipline you uphold. This is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Most people will never cross it because it feels too steep, too hard, too unforgiving. But those who dare, those who persist, those who embrace the climb discover that the view from the other side is worth every step. So the question becomes simple. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to endure the struggle, to embrace the discipline, to commit to the work that most people will avoid? Because if you are, the life you dream of is not just possible, it is inevitable. Hard work will not fail you. It will not abandon you. It will not betray you. It will transform you. And when you are transformed, success is no longer a distant hope. It is the natural outcome of the person you have become. The life you dream of will not come from chance. It will come from choice. Every single day you are given a choice to move closer to your vision or to drift further away from it. These choices often feel small, almost insignificant. Wake up or sleep in, focus or procrastinate, push harder or hold back. But stacked over weeks, months, years, these choices shape everything. They are the bricks that build your future, the proof of what you truly value. Your future self will live in a house built by the choices you are making right now. This is why discipline is sacred. It protects you from the trap of short-term emotions and anchors you to long-term purpose. Your feelings will shift, your motivation will fade, but discipline holds steady. It is the anchor that keeps you from drifting into regret, and regret is the heaviest weight a person can carry. You do not want to reach the end of your days knowing you traded your potential for comfort, that you chose distraction over destiny, that you silenced your own greatness with excuses. Regret is the price of wasted effort, and it is always more painful than the price of discipline. Hard work, on the other hand, gives you peace. Peace in knowing that you gave everything you had. Peace in knowing that you didn't quit when it was hard. Peace in knowing that whatever the outcome, you honored yourself with effort. That peace cannot be bought and it cannot be faked. It must be earned. And the way you earn it is by showing up every day. Not because it is easy, but because it is right. When you live this way, you discover a deeper kind of fulfillment. It's not the quick thrill of achievement or the temporary high of recognition. It is the steady, unshakable fulfillment of knowing you are on the path of becoming who you were meant to be. Fulfillment comes not from arriving, but from progressing. It comes from the grind, the growth, the slow and steady rise into a version of yourself that once felt out of reach. That is the true gift of hard work, not just success, but fulfillment. And fulfillment fuels even greater effort. When you feel it, you no longer need external validation. You no longer need applause or approval. You work because the work itself has become your reward. This is the point where effort turns into passion, where sacrifice turns into joy, where discipline feels like freedom. And when you reach this point, there is nothing more powerful because nothing can take it away from you. Every distraction loses its grip. Every excuse loses its power. Every obstacle loses its ability to stop you. Because you are no longer working for what is temporary. You are working for what is eternal. You are working for the transformation of your own soul, for the strength of your own spirit, for the fulfillment that can only come from becoming more than you once believed you could be. That is why hard work is not just a strategy for success. It is the foundation of a meaningful life. So when the path feels long, when the weight feels heavy, when doubt creeps in, remind yourself of this truth. Every step you take, every effort you make, every ounce of discipline you apply is not wasted. It is building you, shaping you, elevating you. And one day when you look back, you will realize that the struggle was never holding you back. It was always lifting you higher. Greatness begins the moment you realize no one is coming to save you. The world may cheer for your victories, but it will not carry you to them. It may applaud your results, but it will not hand them to you. The truth is harsh but freeing. Your life will only change when you decide to change it. Your dreams will only rise when you rise. Your strength will only grow when you demand more of yourself than anyone else ever could. That responsibility is not a burden. It is your greatest source of power. Because if no one is coming to save you, it means no one can stop you either. Hard work becomes the weapon that cuts through excuses, the shield that protects you from doubt, the compass that keeps you moving forward even in the storm. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control what you give. And when you give fully, when you pour yourself into the process with everything you have, you begin to master not just the work in front of you, but the person inside of you. The one who once hesitated begins to act. The one who once feared failure begins to embrace it. The one who once settled for less begins to demand more. This transformation is not instant. It is not glamorous. It will not be celebrated in the beginning, but it is real. Every repetition builds discipline. Every sacrifice builds resilience. Every act of persistence builds identity. And identity is destiny. You do not rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the strength of your habits. When your habits are strong, when your discipline is consistent, when your actions align with your highest vision, you rise without limit. But the opposite is also true. If you allow comfort to dictate your choices, if you allow fear to dictate your actions, if you allow distraction to dictate your focus, you hand over your future piece by piece. That is the silent cost of inaction. Every excuse is a withdrawal from your own potential. Every delay is a thief of your destiny. And while the world may not notice in the moment, you will. Deep inside, you will feel the ache of knowing you are capable of more. That ache never goes away until you face it with effort. Hard work silences that ache. It turns the whisper of regret into the roar of progress. It transforms the weight of potential into the power of achievement. With every hour invested, with every obstacle overcome, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears, bigger than your doubts, and greater than your excuses. That proof builds confidence, not the shallow confidence of words, but the unshakable confidence of evidence. You know you can endure because you have endured. You know you can overcome because you have overcome. You know you can succeed because you have paid the price success demands. And once you taste that confidence, it changes everything. You walk differently. You think differently. You approach life differently. Challenges no longer intimidate you because you have learned that challenges are not walls but doors. They exist to test you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for more. And the harder the challenge, the greater the growth. This is why the path of hard work is the only path worth walking. It does not just lead you to results, it leads you to yourself. It reveals who you truly are and who you are meant to become. It awakens the giant within you that the world has yet to see. And once awakened, that giant does not go back to sleep. It rises, it grows, it conquers, and it inspires. That is the power waiting inside you, and hard work is the key that unlocks it. The greatest victories in life are not the ones others see, but the ones that happen in silence when no one is watching. It is in those hidden hours, when the world is asleep and distractions are gone, that you decide who you are going to be. Those are the moments that separate the average from the unstoppable. It is easy to look strong when the crowd is cheering, but true strength is built when no one is there to applaud. When you push forward in silence, you train your spirit to no longer depend on recognition. You stop working for approval and start working for mastery. Hard work in the dark creates a light that cannot be ignored. When you stay committed long enough, the results begin to speak for you. They tell the story of sacrifice, of late nights, of early mornings, of effort that never made it to the highlight reel. And that story carries a weight more powerful than any excuse. Because people can argue with your words, they can dismiss your dreams, they can doubt your intentions, but they cannot deny the results born from relentless effort. The truth is, nothing can replace the grind. Not talent, not luck, not shortcuts. Talent gives you a head start, but without effort, it fades. Luck may open a door, but without discipline, you cannot stay inside. Shortcuts promise speed, but they rob you of strength. The grind is what makes you unshakable. The grind is what forges the character to not just achieve success, but to sustain it when it arrives. Without the grind, success slips through your fingers. With it, success becomes inevitable. But here is the challenge. The grind is not glamorous. It is repetitive. It is often exhausting. It is filled with days when nothing seems to move, when progress feels invisible, when the reward feels far away. This is where most people quit. They mistake silence for failure, when in reality, silence is growth happening beneath the surface. Just like roots grow deep before a tree breaks through the soil, your effort is building unseen strength before results appear. The grind teaches you patience, and patience is the mark of the strong. Every day you choose discipline over distraction, you are carving away weakness. Every moment you keep going when it would be easier to stop, you are sculpting resilience. And every time you refuse to quit, you are rewriting the story of your life. This is transformation at its rawest level. You are not just working on goals. You are working on yourself. You are becoming someone who does not break when tested, someone who does not fold under pressure, someone who does not need perfect conditions to act. You are becoming unstoppable. And that unstoppable version of you is what success is waiting for. Success is not given to those who simply want it. It is given to those who are willing to earn it. It is attracted to consistency, to grit, to relentless drive. When you embody those traits, success has no choice but to align with you, because the universe rewards the ones who refuse to be denied. So if the grind feels heavy, remember this, it is supposed to. That weight is the very thing that makes you stronger. That struggle is the proof you are on the path of growth. And one day, when your results finally break through, you will realize that the grind was never your enemy. It was always your greatest ally. The moment you decide that your effort will no longer depend on how you feel is the moment you step into real power. Feelings are fleeting. They rise and fall with the weather of your mood, with the noise of your circumstances, with the whispers of your doubts. But choices are eternal. Each choice you make leaves a mark, shaping the identity you live with tomorrow. When you rise above feelings and anchor yourself in choice, you take control of your destiny. You are no longer tossed around by emotion. You become guided by purpose. This is why discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It is proof that you value your future more than your comfort. It is evidence that you will not betray yourself for the illusion of ease. Every time you push through resistance, you are sending yourself a message: I am worth it. My vision is worth it. My potential is worth it. That message reshapes your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles to follow through, and you start seeing yourself as someone who can be counted on. That shift is life-changing. Because the story you tell yourself becomes the life you live. Hard work becomes easier when it is no longer about what you have to do, but about who you are choosing to be. If you see yourself as weak, discipline feels like punishment. But if you see yourself as strong, discipline feels like freedom. It frees you from regret, from inconsistency, from the cycle of starting and quitting. Freedom is not the absence of effort. It is the ability to direct your effort toward what truly matters. And that freedom is earned through hard work. You already know what happens when you let feelings dictate your actions. You felt the sting of procrastination, the guilt of wasted time, the frustration of watching opportunities slip away. You felt the weight of knowing you could have done more but didn't. That pain lingers. It eats at you quietly, reminding you of every moment you chose comfort over progress. But here's the truth. Just as discipline compounds, so does regret. And over time, regret weighs more than any struggle you face in the grind. When you work hard despite your feelings, you build momentum. And momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. Once you have it, it carries you forward even on the hard days. Success stops being about forcing effort and starts being about riding the wave of progress you've created. But momentum doesn't appear out of nowhere. It is built brick by brick, decision by decision, hour by hour. And it is lost the moment you trade discipline for excuses. Protect your momentum like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Every day you rise above your feelings, you take another step closer to mastery. Not just mastery of your craft, but mastery of yourself. That is the ultimate victory, because when you master yourself, the world can no longer control you. Circumstances can no longer break you. Setbacks can no longer define you. You become untouchable, not because life is easier, but because you are stronger. That strength is forged in effort, and that effort is within your control. So when your feelings whisper that you are tired, remind yourself that you are building strength. When they tell you to quit, remind yourself that you are creating momentum. When they try to pull you back into comfort, remind yourself that you are chasing freedom. And when you keep moving anyway, when you keep giving anyway, you become living proof of the truth that will carry you to success. Mastery belongs to the ones who choose discipline over emotion, consistency over comfort, and purpose over excuse. There is a battle that every person must face, and it is not against the world outside, but against the voice inside. That voice tells you to take it easy, to wait for the right time, to stop when it hurts. It whispers that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that success is for someone else. Left unchecked, that voice becomes the loudest sound in your life. But the truth is, it has no real power. It only grows if you feed it with inaction. The moment you choose to act, the voice begins to fade. Each step forward proves it wrong. Each effort silences its doubts. Each moment of persistence weakens its grip. Your mind is both your greatest obstacle and your greatest weapon. If you allow it to dwell in fear, it will paralyze you. If you train it with discipline, it will carry you through anything. Training the mind begins with small victories. Every time you push past resistance, you are rewiring yourself. You are teaching your brain that discomfort is not danger, that effort is not punishment, that challenge is not threat. Over time, this rewiring creates resilience so strong that nothing can shake it. What once felt impossible becomes your new normal. What once felt unbearable becomes fuel for growth. Hard work is the classroom where this training happens. It is where you learn the truth about yourself, not through words, but through action. You learn that pain can be endured, that setbacks can be overcome, that fear can be faced. You learn that your limits were never real, They were only barriers built by hesitation. With every hour of effort, you dismantle those barriers and step into a larger version of yourself. This process is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It transforms you from the inside out. The mind loves patterns, and this is why consistency matters. When you consistently choose effort over ease, you create a pattern of strength. That pattern becomes identity, and identity is what sustains you when motivation runs dry. Motivation is fleeting, but identity is permanent. Once you believe deeply and unshakably that you are someone who shows up no matter what, the struggle shifts. You no longer waste energy debating whether you will act. You simply act. That is freedom. That is mastery. But the voice of doubt will never fully disappear. It will return in new forms disguised as reason, disguised as comfort, disguised as caution. This is why you must stay vigilant. Every time it appears, see it for what it is, a test of whether you will listen to fear or to vision, a test of whether you will obey comfort or command your purpose. The choice is always yours, and each choice you make either strengthens the warrior within you or strengthens the chains that hold you back. When you choose hard work, you choose freedom from those chains. You declare to yourself and to the world that you will not be ruled by doubt. You will not be ruled by fear. You will not be ruled by the limitations others place on you. Instead, you will rise again and again until rising becomes your nature. And when rising is your nature, there is nothing left that can hold you down. This is the essence of mastery. It is not about silencing the inner voice forever. It is about proving through relentless effort that you are stronger than it. It is about living each day as evidence that no fear, no excuse, no obstacle is greater than your will to keep going. And when that truth is burned into your mind, you become unstoppable, not because life is easier, but because you have trained yourself to rise above everything that once held you back.